have clicked into this video, then you already know that you are on a spiritual journey in this lifetime, and possibly a spiritual journey that lasts many, many, many lifetimes. Hi, my name is Emily Rose. I'm a professional Lenormand and tarot reader. I also teach tarot readers and the mystically minded to read Lenormand like they're talking to a friend. And today I'm doing a timeless pick a card reading to help you understand where you are at on your spiritual journey and what lessons are kind of cooking for you right now and what you need in order to move on to that next step, whatever it may be for you. I'm going to use all kinds of mediums in order to deliver these messages to you, and this is a timeless pick a card reading. So no matter if you're watching this video a day from when it was published, a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever, this message is going to be for you. If you are looking for a one-on-one reading, I am accepting clients at this time, and you can request your reading at emilyrosedivination.com/offerings. I'll also include the link down below. Before we dive into selecting your cards, just know that all the futures we're going to talk about today are all possible futures. If there's something that arises in this reading that you're not resonating with or you'd like to change, there's almost always a way to impact things. And that's because I'm only asking my guides and the cards and your guides for information that is helpful, actionable, and in your best and highest good. So I ask if something is not helpful to know at this time that it doesn't show up. And I also ask that your guides are present with you throughout this reading so that they can assist you in helping you find the next step of your journey and beyond. Go ahead and take a deep breath with me. And select the deck that is calling most to you. We have the Lodestone deck over here. We have the blue lace agate deck here. And we also have the Citrine deck. Whichever deck is getting caught in your mind, that's going to be the deck for you. If you find yourself oscillating between two decks, you may wish to watch both readings to see what messages come through for you. Once you have selected your deck, please go ahead and put in the comments which pile you selected, Lodestone, blue lace agate, or Citrine. It's always great to see if there's more of a collective energy, who's choosing what pile, and I'd also love to know as you're listening how the reading resonates for you. If you chose Lodestone, then this is your reading. Okay, so this is a heavy reading for Lodestone folks. I mean, we are in a spiritual context, and so things tend to be a little bit more dramatic And so if you want like a very light reading, this is not going to be the reading for you. But if you're open to hearing a heavier message, then stay tuned with me. So the first thing I saw was this like silver sword, and I felt that this sword was in your heart, in your chest right now. And it felt like you were just functioning with this sword in you. And I don't know if you've seen that meme with, it's like Renaissance period art, and she has a sword in her neck and it says, "I'm fine." That's kind of the same feeling that I had for this reading. I feel that this is something that is just like this big injury that you are very nobly still going around doing what you need to do, despite having a lot of pain, despite having something very traumatic that's happened to you, and you are just functioning almost to everyone else. They would think you're normal, but you know that you're not, that there's something going on. And what I saw after that was this bird flying around above you. And it was this very freeing feeling. And this bird kind of kept coming up to you and trying to get you to play with it. But you were shaking your head like, no, I have this big, heavy sword that's attached to me, literally. There was this sense of agitation and confusion. The feeling that I got after that was that if you were to pull it out, then you were going to have this pain that occurred, but it's only after you pull it out that healing can begin. And so with a sword, and in tarot, swords are associated with thoughts. There are the thoughts that are in our head. But since it was pierced through your heart chakra, there's something that has happened that has injured your heart. It's time to pull out what has injured you and actually begin to heal from it. Now, this isn't going to be a quick journey by any means. There's a lot of work that you will need to do, a lot of rest, a lot of rejuvenation that's going to need to take place. But the first step is to pull the sword out so it's no longer weighing you down. And it feels like there's no possible way you can do this. It feels like this sword is an integral part of you, but it isn't. And that's the stage of the spiritual journey you are on right now. It's the stage of realizing I don't need to carry this anymore. It is hurting me to walk around with this. And it's time to pull it out, even though it's going to feel like you can't. The inspiration here is the bird. And I feel like the bird's going to come to you in many different forms. So this could be a child that you have in your life, literally, that's trying to get you to come play. This could be a particular opportunity, maybe. Maybe there's something that you're being asked to do, but you're thinking, there's no way I can do that. Or maybe you have an idea. Maybe you have a creative idea that you want to pursue, but you feel like you can't. There's going to be something that feels freeing, but because you have this sword in you, you perceive that playfulness almost as a threat. And so it becomes this dangerous thing to engage in. The message I channeled here was, pull out the sword and leave it behind. You can fly then. So it's time to pull it out and heal so you can fly. So if you're watching this, you probably already know what this is that is feeling heavy to you. It could be a past event that's occurred. It could be maybe a way of life, maybe a habit. This could be a specific person maybe who is not wanting to let go. Maybe they're relying on you heavily. But most likely, this is because this is a spiritual reading, this is most likely a particular thought, or it's a particular identity that you have adopted over time, and it was instilled in you. You didn't choose this intentionally. It was just an identity that came to you and you absorbed it almost like osmosis. Now it's time to let go of it, even though it's going to feel like you're letting go of your whole identity, but you're not. So the first question I have is trying to more clearly define what this sword is for you before we look at advice for how to move it out. So I'm going to first pull a tarot card for how this sword manifests in your life, so you can kind of tell what it is. Okay. We have the Ace of Cups reversed, and then I'm going to pull some Lenormand cards as well. Okay, this makes a lot of sense. So what I'm getting here is that you are definitely a giver. You continue to pour and give more than honestly what you have in your cup, and then there's nothing left for you at the end of the day. And I know that you've heard this before. This is a common trope when we start getting into the self-healing and spiritual world. What this, in terms of what this looks like, that's why I like to pull Lenormand to give you that real world talk, is it looks like working hard for some type of organization. So this is probably work. It's some type, whatever kind of main structure you have in your life. This could be your particular work. It could be, maybe if you volunteer somewhere, it could be even just your home life as well. Although I think that's not going to be for the majority of people watching this. I think it's going to be work for the majority of people. And it's saying that you give a lot here at work, and you do get noticed. You do get appreciated at work for that, or the attention comes to you in a positive light. And it seems like over the years, that's probably how you've been conditioned, right? Is that you need to give more than what you have in order to be recognized and appreciated. And it seems like it's possible that you've tied your worth to this. I need to be constantly giving and pouring more than I have in order to be valuable. And that's the message that I'm getting here from this particular reading for you. And it seems like that's the sword to pull out. It seems like that's the part that feels integral to you, but it's time to really take a look at how you're giving beyond your means and boundaries. And maybe you don't have boundaries. It's time to really deeply take a look at that. I want to know what the first step is for you pulling this sword out. Like, what does the first step look like? Okay. Six of Swords. So what this tells me is that you probably have already tried a lot of things to remove this sword from your heart. I know that sounds so graphic and harsh, but it probably feels that extreme at this point. You have tried a lot of different things. You may have tried setting boundaries. You may have tried speaking up for yourself. You've probably tried a lot of things. And this card is telling me that it's just not working and that it may be time to physically take yourself to a different place. The people on this card, they're leaving a situation and they don't have a lot on them. But what they're doing is they're going somewhere new and they're hoping that it will be better than where they've been, and they're pretty sure it will be better than where they've been. And it seems like in the current situation that you are in, the only way that you can get attention and praise and recognition, things like that, is from giving more than you have. So it's time to actually make a change. And that's really challenging. So this could be maybe starting to look for a new job. This could be, doesn't have to be as extreme as that. It could be looking for to work in a new department. It could be something drastic like a big career change, right? So I feel like this is a time in your life where it's time to make a big change. Now, obviously, please use your own discretion. Don't base your judgments purely on a reading from YouTube, but I do feel like this is a big moment for you. So if you've been feeling these big feelings, then I want to validate that for you. So the next question I want to ask is, how will you know where to go? It's definitely this top one. Okay, 6 of Cups. So this card tells me that this is a pretty big change for you because it's something that you've wanted to do since you were a child. Usually when our child self is telling us something we want to do, it's coming from our true blue essential self, that core part of us that is typically very socially inconvenient, not for everyone, but for a lot of people. And I'm thinking for you, if you chose the Lodestone, then that's probably the case for you. And it's really, this is a change that you've kind of always known in your heart deep down that you want to do this, but it wasn't socially acceptable or convenient for you to do before. Maybe it was just within your family, you were encouraged to go on a different path, or you couldn't because of financial reasons or whatever. But you're being called back to that true essential self, that I think of this as like the little person that you were as a child who always kind of knew what your preferences were, what you liked, what you didn't like. And there's a part of us as a child that always knows who we are. And so you're being called back to that. So if it makes your child self happy, if you think about who you were as a little kid and you think that would make them happy, and I don't even mean like little kid. This could be your adolescence, teenage years as well. But if it made your younger self happy, then that's probably the right move for you. So what I want to know here is what will help you. What will help you? Okay. The Ace of Swords. So what I'm getting here is, with the Ace of Swords, to me, it's sudden insight. It's something coming through, and it feels like it's an idea that can solve some problems, and it just comes to you almost out of thin air, as we see here. So if you have these sudden ideas, these sudden bursts that come through, a lot of us are conditioned to edit those little downloads or insights that come in. And this is saying pay attention, because your guides right now are trying to bring you messages. They're trying to bring you ideas. They're trying to bring you scenarios and things that are going to help you. And this isn't the time to really pay attention to those things. So you may want to keep a little notebook with you. You may want to utilize the notes app on your phone, the voice memo app. You want to use those things so you don't forget these things, so you don't lose them, and make sure to review these insights that you get. So I like to review them around the new moon whenever I get these insights, but honestly, if you write them down, that's the main thing. Let's look at what to stay away from. What's going to be tempting for you to kind of fall into, but isn't actually going to be helpful. Sorry, it cut out when I was drawing this card, but our card is the Nine of Pentacles for what to avoid. Now, you may look at this card and think, why would I want to avoid that? They look like they are living their best life with their bird in their garden. But the reason why to kind of avoid this right now is because you can look around and think, I should be happy where I am. This is not a bad place to be, right? I'm happy here. But are you? Right? And so it's saying, this isn't the time to fall into, I call it like the shamey gratitude practices. Authentic gratitude is always great to do. But if you listen to my podcast about gratitude with Heather, this is what I'm talking about. It's kind of where we shame ourselves into accepting situations that maybe we shouldn't accept. And so in terms of what to avoid, that's what I'm seeing here. It's okay to be grateful for everything you have and want something different. That's okay. So that's what to avoid right now is kind of shaming yourself or thinking what I have is good, so I shouldn't complain, right? Avoid that. It's okay to want something else. And then let's go ahead and pull a card from this oracle deck that can be like a mantra for you to help you to carry through. I feel like it's this top one. Ooh, we have teachers. So this card discusses finding teachings everywhere and in unexpected places. So this reminds me a lot of the Ace of Swords. You may have people, things, situations coming into your life that are a bit unexpected, but still have something to offer you. And this is even adding to that, saying it has something to teach you. There's a lesson there. And I'll share the quote from the book that this deck comes with. And this deck is just, you use the book so much because there's so many great quotes in it. So this is a quote from Khalil Gibran. It says, "I have learned silence from the talkative, toleration from the intolerant, and kindness from the unkind. Yet strange, I am ungrateful to those teachers." And then the mantra that comes with this card is, "I see a lesson in every reflection and honor all of the teachers in my life. Good, bad, or indifferent, I appreciate the curriculum of my daily classroom and all of the cosmic insight." If you enjoyed this reading and would like to schedule a one-on-one reading with me, you can do that at emilyrosedivination.com/offerings. I'll also include it in the link below. Also, if you are interested in any of the decks that I used, the links to where you can purchase those are below. And I do receive a small portion of those proceeds. Those proceeds assist in making this channel happen, and they also go to support small bookstores, which is wonderful. So that is all listed below. If you selected the blue lace agate pile, then this is your reading. So for Blue Lace Agate folks, this is a short and sweet reading that I'm feeling for you. The first thing that I saw here was you cleansing in a mountain stream, almost like a little waterfall, and it was like taking a shower in. Not to be creepy, but yes, like I saw like a naked person doing this. So it's saying allow yourself to stand in that mountain stream, in that water. It felt like you almost felt like you shouldn't be doing that, or like you were guilty. You should feel guilty for taking this time for yourself, but you're not. Once you stood in the mountain stream, you walked out into the sunlight and just were standing there soaking up the sun, absorbing the rays. I kind of picture that this is what photosynthesis feels like for plants, where they're just feeling their energy become revitalized. They're just feeling like the life is coming back into them. So for Blue Lace Agate folks, I feel like you have just come out of a dark period. Maybe things have been pretty challenging for you as of late, and you feel like, okay, I've rested. Maybe you've taken some hits in your life in the recent past, and now you are kind of cleaning yourself up and you're walking out fresh. And the sense I got is that you're not carrying the negative things that happened with you. You're walking out into the sun fresh and clean and ready for what comes next. And so this reminds me a lot of when you get depressed or you've been sick and you've kind of been in bed for a long time and you kind of feel icky generally, but then you go and you take a shower, maybe you eat some food, maybe you go on a walk, that type of thing, and then you just feel like a different person. That's what I feel for you. So I think you're really going to be feeling good soon if you're not already. I think you're going to feel like you kind of have a new lease on life. You have a second wind going on and you're ready to take things on. But the overwhelming feeling at the start of this was this sense of guilt. It was this sense of I should be doing X. And it's important to kind of remove those shoulds from your vocabulary right now. And this is the time instead to embrace the parts of you that are craving, some type of rejuvenation, revitalization, and to honor what it is that you're craving so that you can have the energy and vitality to do whatever it is that you need to do or want to do next. So maybe this is the fortune teller in me, but I want to know, what do you have to look forward to? So for Blue Lace Agate folks, what do you have to look forward to? So what I'm getting here is that there is some romance coming into your life. So this can be literally romantic. It could be that if you're not in a relationship right now, this might be the time that you get into a relationship. You're ready for that. If you're in a relationship currently, this could be revitalized passion in your relationship. It could just be an opportunity for it as well. Some situation comes along that really reignites your romance that you have in that relationship. But it doesn't have to be in a love context either. This could just be that there's something that you're really attracted to and you have the opportunity now to commit to it. So this could have been something that maybe you felt like passed you by before, but you've always been attracted to it. And now this is the time where you get to commit. You get to say, yes, I want to do this. Now I'm going to just ask advice for you right now. What advice do you have for Blue Lace Agate folks? So we have the Two of crystals, which is equanimity. And then we also have the Sage of Crystals, which is knower. This Two of Crystals, if you look in traditional tarot, she's sitting with a blindfold and she has two swords crossed over her and it's at dusk. So she's kind of she's in between everything. She's in between time, in between choices, in between decisions. And with this deck, equanimity, there's this sense of peace that comes with it, this clarity of mind. So even though you're in this in-between time right now, it is possible for you to find peace. It is possible for you to find that clear-headed place. It's okay to pursue that right now, even though it may be a little bit more challenging than usual for you to find that clear-headed space. Do your best to find it. The other thing that I'm getting here too is that Sage of Crystals card. It's telling me that you will know what to do next. You don't have to stress too much about that. You don't have to worry, okay, what is it that I'm doing next? What's happening? Like that Clover card that came up at the very end, it's saying that you will know. It'll come to you. And you have all the wisdom you need to embark on your next journey. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull a mantra for you, something you can repeat when you need some strength or you need to be uplifted. And we have the Resolution card. The sense I have with this card, the thing that's popping out to me the most is the shadow. So you can see the person's shadow there and this veil over their face. There may be this temptation to kind of think, oh, I'm past that person who was maybe in a darker place before, that maybe had a difficult time. I'm coming into something new. But the thing is that our shadow is part of us. It's part of who we are, and that it's something that we can accept to start with and then embrace potentially later on. So that's something to know, is that, you know, you were getting to know another part of yourself, and that part of you may feel like it's this complicated part that we don't want to revisit. But if we integrate it, it can just be something that's normal, that's natural to us, that doesn't cause us this sense of dread or pain. And here's the mantra that comes from the book with this card. I love this deck so much because I just love their mantras. So the mantra is, I invoke the power of my imagination as a tool for ultimate manifestation. I resolve contrast and contradiction with the understanding that duality is but an illusion of the interconnected nature of all conditions. I appreciate my shadow and embrace my light. I know that love is a greater emotion than fear and fright. If you enjoyed this reading and would like a one-on-one session with me, I do offer readings and am accepting new clients, and you can request a reading at emilyrosedivination.com/offerings. I will also link it down below in the description. Also, if you like the decks that you see here and you wish to have them for yourself, I do have the links to purchase those below as well. And if you purchase them from those links below, a small portion of those proceeds do go to support this channel and the work that we do here. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed this. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you don't want to miss any more videos. If you chose the Citrine pile, then this is your reading. So for our Citrine folks, here's what I received. The first thing I saw was this big open meadow, and I saw you and other people, and you were just having fun. It was just like so beautiful and frivolous feeling. I saw you making like flower garlands, and it just felt like things felt good. But the thing I did see you doing was like trying to dig tunnels that brought you out of the meadow. And when I asked you, what are you doing? Why are you trying to get out of this meadow? This is nice here. You said, well, it might not always be okay here. I might need to leave. And then I heard this voice that was likely from your guide that said, enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. Be fully here. So this is the time to be fully present in this moment. I feel like because of the way that events have unfolded in the past for you, you may think the other shoe's going to drop. I need to prepare. I need to make arrangements. I need to see my way out of this in case. The thing with that, though, is that you're not going to fully experience things when they're good. And that's your task right now. Even if you're feeling like things are a little wonky right now in your world, or you're going through something that may be challenging, this is saying maybe inject some frivolity into your day. What's the equivalent of making flower garlands to you, right? It could be spending time on something just for fun. This could be like buying an adult coloring book and coloring. This could be, signing up for a dance class. This could be doing a last minute little getaway, something like that, just something fun and being here fully. You get to enjoy without plotting what your escape route's going to be. You get to enjoy without worrying about what is coming next. So let's look at some advice for you in terms of how you can be here fully. And we have the Queen of Wands. With the vision, one of the main things that came up here was, I better start plotting how to, what my next move's going to be. But with the Queen of Wands, this is saying that you are a very powerful person, you're very capable, and you have all the power that you need to do anything that you want to do. So instead of, creating and spending time on these possible things that could happen, it's saying, what if you just trusted that you have the ability and you have the skills and knowledge and strength to do whatever it is that you need to do. So you don't have to go through all of these what if scenarios. And that's the interesting thing about the situation, because you can be this Queen of Wands because of everything you have been through. I feel like you have not had an easy life. That is very much the sense I get. And so being in this place that feels privileged, that feels like, things are good, something must be happening soon. You're feeling that way because your life has not been easy, and that has historically been what has happened to you. But remember, there were times in your life where you didn't know how to handle a situation and you figured it out. So that's really important for you to remember right now, that you are a very powerful person and you have what you need to do whatever comes next. I feel like we need to almost go deeper into that question of, how can I trust in my safety in this moment? So this to me kind of goes along with that Queen of Wands energy. With the Six of Swords, it's saying you can trust in your ability to leave situations that don't serve you anymore. You can trust in your ability to start over. You can trust in your ability to handle disappointment, to handle things when they don't work out the way that you want them to work out. And so you can trust in that. You know how to handle hard things, and not enjoying the good fortune that you may have right now or the positive things that you have in your life, if you refrain from enjoying those, that's not going to protect you from future things that could happen, right? You're almost trying to arm yourself up and prepare yourself, but it's saying that, if something does happen, which everything in life is not permanent, right? Everything ends, everything shifts and changes. And it's saying that you'll have the skills to handle that when that time comes. And it may not be as dramatic as, maybe what you're anticipating. But instead, it's just a part of life, and you will have the skills that are needed in order to handle that. So now I'm going to go ahead and pull a card that can be a mantra for you. Something you can pull out in times when you need a little bit of strength, or you need to be reminded. Okay. We got the Modern card. The sense I'm getting with this card is that you are in the process spiritually of merging the past self that you became because of the environment that you were in, because of who you are innately, and finding ways to survive through that. And you're also in the process of becoming who you are now and being fully embodied and present in who you are now. You're becoming a modern version of yourself. And it is possible to embrace that new part of yourself and embrace the old part of yourself and become something new. The mantra that comes from this says, I can merge ancient wisdom with the modern world. I can be a sage of technology while also being attuned to the lessons in nature and the intelligence of Mother Earth. If you enjoyed this reading and you'd like to have a one-on-one reading with me, you can request your reading at emilyrosedivination.com/offerings. I will also include that in the description below. If you liked any of the decks that you saw here, I will include links of where to purchase those decks if you'd like to have them for yourself. If you do purchase the decks from the links below, then I will receive a small portion of the proceeds from that, and that goes to support this channel and this work. Also, if you enjoyed this reading, please don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss another one of my videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.